Hiya fishy folks, and welcome back to Michael's Fish Room. Today, changes. Grab a healthy snack and beverage. Stand by. Well, alright fishy folks, let's take a look at the progress on the changes of the fish room. Before we do that, let's just talk about paint for a second. This sucks. So, decided to paint the back of the tanks, and you may recognize that color. That's the same color from the 20 long that I use in the Breeding for Profit series, video number 1. Update will be coming soon. Link up here for you to check that video out. But I decided to obviously paint the tanks, and so I wanted to paint a tank, and I took that paint can. I made sure it was closed 100% without a shadow of a doubt. I inverted it and started shaking it, and paint got everywhere. Clearly, it wasn't closed. It was a complete disaster. In fact, it happened yesterday, about 20 hours ago. Paint's still wet, damp. So, workbench, complete and utter disaster. So much so that, like, I have to, it's bothering me, so I'm going to have to change it. You know, like, it's so bad I couldn't find my tape measure, which is right there. So I went upstairs and got my other tape measure, then he came down and found that tape measure. Anyway, let me show you some of the changes. So I just put these tanks up here to see what they look like. This isn't going to be the permanent spot, and I'll show you a reason why. So we have roughly 3 tanks left. The purple Moscow's, not sure what I'm doing with it yet. The Jari Lazulis, they will get a 20 high up on the top shelf of their own. And then these black metal lace, which are going into this tank. Here's what a finished tank looks like. It's going to have an Aquarium Co-op sponge filter. There's the old sponge filter, and of course the Java Moss and Rickia. And you can see I drilled the hole low so that I can drain the tank quickly if needed. I did make a template for it, so all the holes hopefully will be in the same spot. Now this tank is instant cycled, and you'd be saying to yourself, but Mike, isn't there beneficial bacteria on all the surfaces? And yeah, that is 100% true, but let's think about this for a minute out loud. The majority of the beneficial bacteria is in this filter, which is now in this tank. The rest of the beneficial bacteria is either in or on the plant life or the surfaces of the tank and the mold. Now, beneficial bacteria, the colony will double in size in roughly 24 hours. So when I put all these fish in this tank, which is the exact same bioload, within 24 hours, instant cycled. So therefore, instant cycled. Now, yes, it's not boom, it's cycled, but really in 24 hours or less, instant cycled. I don't have a problem doing it. I do it all the time. So another thing we have to figure out is from this point here all the way to the end is about 133 inches, which means I can fit 4 20 longs and then have about 13 inches left. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do 4 20 longs and put a 10 up there, or 4 20 longs and use it for storage. I will probably leave it empty for now and see what I need more. Eventually, when I have the wall built, I'll have more storage, so I might not need it. It might be better to use that space to make money. Let's go behind the curtain and show you what's going on here. It's also a disaster. I have water on the floor. I have all the hoses. Yeah. And then I'll tell you about another almost devastating disaster. So here's what I learned here. So when I built the system, the tanks were overhanging, so you can see, like here, the elbow comes down and then the drain goes on the outside of this water supply line. Well, when I had the tank all the way at the edge, like I had the tanks up near the curtain, that didn't happen. The elbow was actually over the wood. So, I mean, you know, it hit the wood. So I had to move the tanks back. So that's something I learned. If I get really, really, really ambitious, I may change the entire water system. I don't know if that's going to happen now or another time. Probably another time, but that's what I wanted to show you. All right, let's go out front and I will show you my other almost devastating disaster, which maybe would have made me quit YouTube, quite frankly. So this is a rookie mistake. So you can see these water lines are hanging down, and they're secured in between the shelf and the light. Well, yesterday when I was doing this, I was down here for 3 or 4 hours working, and then I went upstairs and had some coffee and had some food and hung out with the family. And before I knew it, it was time to watch movies. Long story short, I never made it back down here to finish what I was doing. So these water lines were actually in the water. Some of them, 2 of them, were down to the bottom on each tank. Do you guys know what happens? Well, when the water pressure shuts off, it creates a vacuum if the water's in the tank, if the airline's in the tank. And basically these 2 tanks were drained pretty much down to about, this one had about 1/2 inch, this one had less. And Taco was on his side. One of his gills was submerged. All these fish looked like they were goners. And you can see some floating fry that I have to get out there. Sorry about that, guys. But long story short, I didn't grab my camera because that's not what was important to me. What was important is saving Taco's life. And so I immediately got water, started filling it. I could see both those gills start moving. And I got the tank about halfway full. Then I started adding water to the guppy tank. And you can see most of these guppies aren't going to make it, I'm sure. So that's a complete loss in this tank. That sucks. But Taco, luckily, seems like he's 100% back to normal. In fact, let's feed Taco. I can show you what a beast he is. I have some Excalibur. Love the Excalibur food here. This is the Diamond Dust, which helps his purling. I'm trying to do this one-handed because I really didn't plan this, but I want to show you. I want to see how he does here. Here we go. Oh yeah, baby. He's hungry. I think he's going to be fine. We'll obviously keep a close eye on him. So I'm happy. I was legit pretty upset that if I would have killed him, but luckily I didn't. So he's good. He's got the Millennium Falcon and Karen, which he doesn't like, in his tank. So these guys, death in this tank. So we'll see what happens. Actually, more guppies are dying because those guppies were alive when I started filming, to be honest with you. So, well, that sucks. That's a lesson learned. All right, folks, I'll be back with more updates. All right, fishy folks, it is Saturday morning, about 9 o'clock. The lights just went out. I turned them back on so I could continue filming. I've been down here since about 6 a.m. Couldn't sleep, got a toothache, my hand hurts, blah, blah, blah. You don't care. Anyway, I got another tank done. I got most of the Jarwi Lazulis from this disaster moved over. So we got that going on. I've been redoing the water lines in the back, which I will show you in a second. Look, I did this one and it's already messed up. So I got to figure that out. Got to run the water while I'm down here just to see if there are any leaks. Look, there's Taco. I did also start labeling all my tanks. Purple Moscow. By the way, everything in this tank died. The purple dragons that I had that weren't breeding true all died. I suck. I'm a disaster. But I labeled Taco's tank so I don't call him Chewy anymore. Rest in peace. I do have to buy another 20 long at the $1 per gallon sale. I only have 2 left and I can fit 3. Here's my question, folks. And I haven't decided, but I will let you help me. Do I put a tank across here? What do you think? Let me show you the back. All right, fishy folks, this is my water system from the back. When I made it, I basically was piecing together parts I already had. So there's a lot of weird cuts and weird pieces. But I stood back here for about 15 minutes contemplating if I should just cut it all out and start fresh. And I decided against it because, quite frankly, I don't have the energy to do it right now. So I'm going to temporarily hook up water lines until I can get enough energy time, energy, and motivation to redo the water system, which will probably take a few days. So basically I pulled all the water lines that I could that I knew came from the top, and then I've been replacing them with the black Airline tubing from Aquarium Co-op. I love it. It's so soft and supple. Oh, it's fantastic. Now I haven't been using it for very long, so I don't know how it's going to hold up. I imagine it's going to hold up pretty well, just based on other products I've purchased from Aquarium Co-op and talking to Corey himself about it. So that does it. You know, I kind of have to cap this one off, so I'm basically going to just remove the manifold and put a cap on, and then I just have one more Airline to run, which, knowing me, I'm going to forget after this, and then there's going to be water all over the floor tomorrow. Not really a big deal, I guess, but all right, folks, that does it for this episode of Redoing Michael's Fish Room. Yeah, so when I come back, when we come back, hopefully it'll be done, at least done enough where all the tanks are up on the top, and you guys will like it. So let me know if you have any comments or questions, and have a great day. And here's what a finished tank looked like. Oh God, I just tripped. Doing. So these water lines were in like this one. See, that's not in there. That's dumb. All right, folks, here's my water system. I've been adding the black Aquarium Co-op Airline, which I love. It is so soft and supple. It's just fantastic. Suckle is not a word. It should be supple. I'm an idiot. Which will probably take a few couple days.